in my office, and I happened to speak something on Kundali. It was about Vitala, and then they just mentioned to me that when do we get to know that type of or such type of stories? And I said maybe there will be a day we can think about it and all that. Then this thought of music came in, and then subsequently we did not plan anything. And when the theme was evolution, something that had to be innovative, and that is when, perhaps as we say, that beyond human comprehension, beyond what we think about that we want to deliver, the time arrives that when it happens by itself. And for quite some time, in fact, I was blank about how to interpret this whole thing into Carnatic music. That's a Carnatic classical music. And then one fine morning, I got this idea. Why don't we look at Navavida Bhakti, the 9 types of devotion, where it starts off with the basic concept of Shravanam, that is to listen, and ends with Atmanivedanam, where you become one, which is essentially what we call as the Advaita. But we always say that Krishna says in the Gita, Sarva Karma Akilam Partha Jnanam Sarisamapyate. He says that anything that has to end, the end of whatever what we are imagining, all the ends of every karma that we do, is in the jnana that what you have done is right or wrong. To know that, you need to get into a particular path, and that path, the easiest path, is Bhakti Marga that is available. Among all the other ones, there are tough. I am not capable of doing a tapas. I am not capable of building something. I am not capable of doing so many other things. God hasn't given me all those things, but I can love Him. I can love Him. I can surrender myself. I can do so many other things which are available, which essentially we thought should start off with the simplest idea called Bhakti. Apparently, my daughter's name is also Bhakti only. So, we have named her as Bhakti Hiranmayi, and we thought if Bhakti is there, it should be able to bring us anything that we want to. Bhakti is the first one, whether you want to be a best student, you want to be a best scholar, you want to be a best human being. I think that Bhakti. So, without Bhakti, for us, nothing exists. Though there have been scholars who have been talking about it at peripheral level that you can sing music as music. I think it will have no life. The music will have life when there is Bhakti. And that Bhava comes following the Bhakti. That is our idea. Raga comes along with that one. These are all dots that we have to connect. So we thought that when Krishna says, Sarva Karma Akilam Partha Jnanam Sarisamapyate, we thought that Jnana today, whatever that we have or we have earned through His grace, we will share it with you people. So this is just a pure offering. In fact, Sri Aurobindo says, surrender the mind in devotion to the Lord, He will purify it and return it to you. That's also karma. Whatever you do, you get it. So it's like a mirror. You do something, it comes back to you. It is just a reflection of what we are. It is from that particular thought, we thought we will take you people through this journey. Some of them are compositions that are in Telugu, something that you may find in Kannada. We have one in Marathi. Like that, we will have something in Tamil as well. I'll give a small commentary on some of these, but the job is mainly theirs. They're all accomplished artists. I'm blessed to be along with them, be amidst them, and such great connoisseurs. There are some ragas that are so evocative and they will immerse you. I will perhaps tell at that particular point of time, you can just close your eyes and feel the presence. That's what we anticipated to happen. With invoking the Thai's presence here amidst us, we'll begin our concert with the thought, because the whole Navavida Bhakti actually comes from Bhagavatam. It is from Bhagavatam that we start off with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, and then we end with Atmanivedanam. That's the end we talk about. So we start off on our first composition, that is in the Smaranam, because it is the Smarana of the God that we keep invoking every time the positive vibes come to us. And then we also feel that it is very, very important, because this Shravana, you need to have a company. Whom are you listening to? Anything and everything you listen to, it doesn't reflect back to you. So Shankara says, Satsangatve Nisangatvam, Nisangatve Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve Nischalatattvam, Nischalatattve Jivan Mukti, he says. Satsangatve Nisangatvam. You will have to arrive or you have to have satsanga in the beginning so that you listen to good things. Once you have satsangatvam, you become nisangatvam. So you can stay without others. Nisangatva will bring you detachment, that is Nisangatve Nirmohatva. Nirmohatva will bring you, even Krishna says, you become Sthita Prajna. When you don't have attachments. When you don't have attachments, you are beyond some of the human emotions. You perhaps reach a situation that is very, very important. That is Nirmohatve Nischalatattvam. And Nischalatattve Jivan Mukti. That's the attainment that we are. After that, nothing matters to you. You are one. That's Advaita. That's what Shankara also says. So based on that one, because same Shankara also tells to us that where we are supposed to do what, at the same time we keep defining. He says, Balastavat Krida Sakta, Tarunastavat Taruni Sakta, Vruddhastavat Chinta Sakta, Pare Brahmani Kopina Sakta. He asks. When you are a child, you are in playful mood. When you are Taruna, that means in your teenage you are attracted to the other gender. In Vruddhapya, that's in your old age, you are always in worry. What have I done in the past? You are recalling all those things. He says, Pare Brahmani Kopina Sakta. When do you have time for God? So that's why they say, whenever we get a chance, we should do Smaranam. And that Smaranam begins with Vidwan Sunil Gargyan. Over to you. We sing Rama Katha Sudha. We start with invocation of listening to the God's glory in the form of Rama Katha. Rama Katha Sudha in Bhaga Madhyamavati. Says is that in the flaming ocean that you are stuck, that you are struggling to cross over, just sing His name, listen to His glory. It will happen on its own. At times when you are struggling, when the waves are attacking you and then you are unable to sail through, they say you don't need to change the boat, but change the direction. You will reach your destiny. So here, the learned composer Tyagaraja says that to overcome the karmas that you have, to overcome the life that you have got, and all the things that you think are in your back and they are a burden to you, you will get rid of it. Just sing His glory. Listen to His glory is what he says. With that, we move on to the next one, which is Kirtanam. There is very interesting one because in Bhagavatam also it says it's about Prahlada actually. Essentially talking about. Whenever we talk about the component of Kirtana, we listen to Prahlada. Because Prahlada knew only about that, nothing more than that. Father would say something, someone else would say something, and his only thing was
taking the name of Narayana. Every time he would only sing his glory. There was a very interesting political instance that happened in the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly once, because of the type of issues that would be between the atheists and the believers. There was once that one of such instances, Mrs. Jayalalitha was asked, because every time she would invoke God's name, and her favorite Lord was Narasimha, she would, every time they would invoke and ask, you keep telling there is Narasimha, Narasimha, Narasimha. Where is he? Is he here? She said, Narasimha was there, Narasimha is there, Narasimha will be there. But is there Prahlada around, she asked. He did not come because anybody and everybody called for. He came because Prahlada called for. That means the calling that you make should touch him. It is not that he will feel phenomenon when you call him great or you sing his glory. Because he himself claims, Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam bhutam sutre maniganaiva. He himself says, there is nothing beyond me. I am Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. He says, I am that. He is Tattvamasi. He is everything. So he claims and he says that everything is me. That I am holding the thread with these pearls. When I pull the string, everything falls apart. That's what he says. Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. He says to Arjuna, nothing exists beyond me. But yet he says, then subsequently he says, the whole thing again repeating the situation, he says, if I pull the thread, everything falls apart. I am keeping it together. So, yet we say that you sing his glory. It's not his expectation. It is for your survival and you are in requirement of it. He is not. One devotee becomes less, he loses nothing. He is not in politics, neither he needs to prove confidence motion. So he has nothing to lose. It is we who lose. So that's why every time we say about Kirtana, we tend to remember Prahlada. Prahlada is the one who kept singing only Narayana. Nothing could be done to him. They tried every measure. His own father tried every measure. Imagine the capacity of and belief that he had on Krishna, that his own father would say, there is nobody else glorious than me. Look at all the Ashtadikpalakas are there in my footsteps. They are all my steps. Including Shani, whom everybody fears, they are all under my footsteps. I have controlled them, I have controlled everything. There is nothing beyond me, he says. Yet he says that no, there is Narayana who is beyond me. And nothing, I have no existence without him is what Prahlada claims. So that Kirtana is so beautiful, and it comes to only those who have that prapti. Even Tyagaraja, whose composition we sang just now, Tyagaraja in one of his compositions in Saramati says, Sangeeta Jnana Vihinulaku Mokshamu Galada. He says, those who have no idea, those who have nothing, or they know nothing about music, yet when they listen to it, yet when they sing along with you, where the tune doesn't matter, where the raga doesn't matter, thala doesn't matter, but they are able to sing your glory, give them mukti, he requests God. He says, Sangeeta Jnana Vihinaluku Mokshamu Galada, he says in Telugu. Such a beautiful expression. So that Kirtanam is very important. The one we have taken here is almost meditative. It's in Raga Lalita and it's called as Hiranmayim Lakshmim. We call in Sri Sukta, it says Hiranmayim Lakshmim Jatavedo Mavapaha. She is the one with the golden body. That's what we talk about her. And she is the manifestation of everything. Even Lord doesn't have a value without the mother. If he is only called Pati, nobody listens to. When he is called Sri Pati, only people listen to. The Sri is the mother. We say Sri Nivasa. Only if you call him Nivasa, there is no meaning. It's only a house. When she is there, that's the value. Prakriti and Purusha. That's the meaning here. Not God is claiming that Lakshmi is with me. Lakshmi is longing for him as much as he longs for her. Right? But at the same time, invoking her, Lord will himself come. That's what we say here. In Hiranmayim Lakshmi, it's so meditative. If any of you want, you can just close your eyes and feel her presence here. You will certainly able to feel her. It's in Raga Lalita, which is an extremely emotive raga. And Lalita is also something that has to be sung slowly. So it has its own beauty, and the way it takes in over to Sunil to sing Hiranmayim Lakshmim. After that, I'll come back to the Tatparya of this particular composition. Muthuswami Dikshitar and all his compositions are almost like the mantras only. They are in the form of song. But the truth is that you just close your eyes, you will feel each utterance that he makes is like a mantra. He says, Vakshasthala Nivasini. He calls, because that's the place Lord has given her. When Rishis got angry and then he hit on his body, he removed the Jnana Chakshu. That means there was an extra eye that was given to one of the Rishi. So he removes that Jnana Chakshu and he gets angry. The mother leaves him. That's perhaps the most painful time that God goes through. And for her, he comes all the way today, the richest temple that you talk about, that he came and he settled, and he came in search of her actually. And that is Tirupati that you all go. And people are so fond of, that's the situation, because there in the Vaikunta, he comes and charges at Sriman Narayana. So mother gets angry. Mother says that if somebody comes and just does something to you like this, where I live, I cannot handle this. So she leaves him and goes. And that leads to again is another Leela. That is where he came as a Kaliyuga Varadan and he stayed here. And in search of the mother, he comes, leaves everything, he sits somewhere. And then there is an anthill that grows on him, everything like a planned way. Then somebody comes and hits because of a snake going there, because the cow every day comes and pours milk on that. So they hit and then it starts bleeding. Then one lady takes him, Bula Devi takes him, and then subsequently he says that he has come for a purpose. He is searching someone like a normal son. She wants to get him married, and then the death happens and all that thing, then he decides. Even mother, whenever she gets angry, there is a meaning to it. Generally we say, anger should come at right time. Otherwise it's of no use. Bhishma did not get angry when Draupadi Vasraparana was happening. Subsequently he died on the bed of arrows. At the same time, Jatayu got angry when Mother Sita was abducted by Ravana. He died on the lap of the god. After all, a pakshi. After all, a bird. That's why we say at right time you should get anger, and that anger is justified. Otherwise, anger itself is a negative thing, because there is no guarantee that it will have effect on the other side, but for sure it will disturb your peace. That's why it's not a value. But it should come at a right time, because it's also one of the rasa. In the Navarasas, even this one is a rasa for a value. And that's one of the reasons why subsequently Bhishma realizes that what he did was very problematic. And there where Smaranam comes, because when he writes Vishnu Sahasranamam, there is a meaning to it. He repents, he does all these things. So Kurukshetra gets over. The Pandavas walk up to Krishna and say, teach us Rajadharma. I want. So they say, teach us Rajadharma. Then Krishna says, after all I am a coward. I don't know, everything he has done. 18 days he has done havoc, everything. In between, too many things he has done and everything, yet he pretends that he doesn't know anything, and he says, after all I am a coward. When I have been a king. If at all you have to learn, go to your Tata Shri. Go to Bhishma. He alone is a master in Rajadharma, and that's what he has stood for. See, Krishna is teaching an organizational principle here. Anything and everything should not be done by everyone. Specialization should be respected. Krishna knows specialization on Rajadharma is with Bhishma. He is personification of everything. Yet he says, go to Bhishma, and they go to Bhishma. And as usual, all the brothers keep asking different questions on Rajadharma. The only one who asks him the toughest question is Draupadi. Draupadi asks, Tata, you knew that you were on the wrong side. You were part of the Atharma. You were with the Kauravas. And yet, how is that you did not repent, or you did not resist, and you did not come to our side? How is it justified? Bhishma, as he is, someone who started off, the very word Devavrata to Bhishma came because of one of his most powerful pratignas. The capacity in which he spoke, after everybody leaving, yet he continued to be that one to take care of the Kuru Vamsha. Right? Whosoever sits on the throne. A great Jnani, someone who knew everything. So he says to Draupadi in a very beautiful way, there where karma invariably comes back and forth to us. He says, this is in the Shanti Parva, he says that whatever karmas I do, karmas are like that of the calf. That means how among the 1,000 cows, the calf goes only to the mother without a confusion. In that way, my karmas will come back to me only, is what Bhishma says. Draupadi, you don't worry, I am aware of it, and it will come back to me only, he says. This is the beauty. That's why, time and again, Bhishma is a personification of everything. People tend to think that when he was passing away, generally religious people would say that he passed away, or he waited for Uttarayana Punyakala to have happen, a good time to happen, and then give up his body. But we all incur certain rinas in our life. It's called as Anna Rina, Pitru Rina, Matru Rina. Something that we can never pay is Matru Rina. Mother's debt you can never pay back. What she goes through, and what is it, the Prakriti, what she goes through, nobody can pay back. But Anna Rina can be paid back, by different ways. And Bhishma here decides that because of the Anna that he has eaten from the Kauravas, the blood is accumulated, and that blood should be left here only, and he should go peacefully. So he stays on the bed of arrows. The blood keeps going every day. He wants to give up that runa, and then he wants to leave. How beautiful it is. So this is exactly what Bhishma does at the end. What he repents of past. He knew that Krishna is everything. But yet at the end, he remembers, then he composes all the things that we know about Vishnu Sahasranama, which is supposed to be one of the most powerful one. He does that one. So karma is the basis of everything, but the realization of that karma becomes the paradigm or the basis for everything that we are talking about. So here is a situation where he is explaining to Draupadi, I am aware of what I have done, and consciously this has happened, and I know where I am leading to. And this is where again we invoke people like Dhruva, we invoke people like Prahlada, we invoke even Ajamila, to so many other people who only did bit of whatever that we are talking about, the Smarana part, which is the next one that we are trying to look at. Because Muthuswami Dikshitar, as we saw, Hiranmayim, Lakshmim, he calls first. This is what most of the poets or most of the composers go through. At some point of time, they'll scold themselves. He says here, he says that this human life, it's a very menial one that I am going through, but perhaps if I have to overcome this one, I need your grace. That's what he is asking for. Then subsequently he starts praising, because after all the problems that you have, the father might beat you up, and even the mother may get angry and everything. At the end, somebody who comes and consoles you, again takes you back, gives you food, hiding or whichever way, is the mother only. So he knows the trick there. Muthuswami Dikshitar knows the trick here as a composer. Even if the Lord is angry on me, mother will take care. We will use the mother's route to reach to the Lord. That's how he is singing Hiranmayim Lakshmi here, which is a beautiful composition. We move on to the next one, which is on the Smarana. We remember God again and again so that we don't become arrogant. We don't become what we aspire to at many times, but small things that we achieve makes us arrogant, makes us egoistic. But it says that once you start remembering regularly, then you will be humbled, then you will realize you are nothing in this world. You make no difference in your life, you are a speck in everything, you are nothing more than that one. You are only an anu, is what they feel, which is beautiful. So we are singing the next one, which is called Smarane Sukhamu in Raga Janaranjini. Over to Sunil. Says Rama Nama, the Smarana itself is a Sukha. You don't need anything, you don't need external pleasures for that one. That's what the composer says. The very Smarana itself is now the first three components that we looked at in the Navavidha Bhakti are associated with your mind. After this one, it will go into action because we start with Pada Sevanam. So here where we enter into action, because in the Smaranam, what essentially the Navavidha Bhakti is saying is that you need to know that your own body is also resident of God. You know, that is what Sanatana Dharma believes in, where we say, Deho Devalaya Prokto Jivo Deva Sanatana. It says that whatever your body, Deho Devalaya Prokto, it is the temple that where the God comes and resides. How does he reside? Depending on the way you keep it. You know, you keep the way you keep it clean, the way you do things, it's the same. If you are expecting visitors to come to your house, you are expected to keep it clean. If your house is dirty, first time they may visit, after that they say, let's meet outside only. Let's meet over a cup of coffee. That is more than enough. We need not come home. It's okay. Why do we trouble you people? So how do you expect if your relatives and friends are not visiting, you are expecting your God to visit? So if God has to visit, you have to keep it hard. So the spiritual idea is that keep your heart pure. But we are all human beings. So many thoughts keep coming. They keep rushing. We all have all different type of rasotpattis in us. So how do we cleanse ourselves? The easiest tool, he says, is antivirus, that is Smaranam. He says use that antivirus called Smaranam. It keeps removing all that is unwanted. Easiest tool. He says you don't need to pay anything. Antivirus you have to pay. They keep reminding you. Very expensive. Right? Here he says you don't need to. Just get up and say. Morning you get up, while bathing you do. You know, in our beauty, in our Sanatana Dharma, it says, while bathing also you can invoke anybody that will cleanse you. Gangaicha Yamunaicha Iva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhinku. It says. Just remember, see, every time, everything that you are doing is what you remember. Yesterday also, the chief guest was telling that the beauty in our dharma is that you are even telling the Mother Earth, I am stepping on you, please forgive me. You know, that's the beauty. That is the Avina Bhava Sambandham. We say that there is a bond that cannot be explained but has to be experienced. It's very difficult for us to explain. I can do hours and hours together and this lecture can go on, but still that experience is what you go through only that will stay with you. So with that, we move into Pada Sevanam. We look at what is this Pada Sevanam is all about. What is the Pada that is going to help us out? What is this idea of surrendering that's going to help us? We will move into the next or the fourth Bhakti in the Bhakti Marga, that is through Pada Sevanam.
Shri Rama Padama Shri Rama Padama Nirvata Shri Rama Padama Nirvata Shri Rama Padama Nirvata Shri Rama Padama Nirvata
The composer says, your kripa is itself enough. Your pada kripa itself is enough. Is the Lord expecting that we should do his pada sevanam? But Lord is leading by example. What do we expect from leaders? We say they should lead from the front. Am I right? Most of the time, leader who is capable of leading. So the leader should lead. Krishna says, when I say pada sevanam, I am not telling you should only do to me. Whosoever deserves, they should be done. He himself does to his friend Sudama. He washes his feet. Sudama comes all the way trembling, fearing, looking, just yearning to see his friend. Krishna is already very big, someone who is miraculous, they have seen everything in him, and he is all knowing. But yet when his friend comes, immediately runs up to him and he behaves like he has not had anything, there is nothing available in his palace. He tells him, where is my favorite food? Give it to me. He feels hesitant to give it to him, but Lord says, whatever you give with that love that you have for me, that is enough. It will become whatever it has to be. Don't worry about it. Give it to me. He takes. Sudama fears that it is sinking. It may not be good. I didn't get on time. I could not give it to him. Yet Lord takes it to him and he tells with pride, do you know who has come? This is my friend. This is the great man. And he holds on to his feet and he starts washing his feet. Now, God is not expecting you alone to do pada sevana. He says, whosoever deserves. Because we already said in the previous verse that God resides in everyone. That means those who do such work, they deserve to be done. Krishna himself as a leader does and shows. It might be very surprising for us. How can a Lord do this one? Lords do this one. And they lead from the front. That's why Krishna is a leader in everything. That's why in Sanskrit it is Karsha iti Krishna. That one who attracts. What he attracts? He attracts Gopikas, he attracts all of us, he attracts everything. That is a peripheral meaning. But real meaning of attraction is that because he is capable of attracting the bad from you and he will only give you back the good. When the churning of the ocean happened, what came first? Hala hala came first. And everybody was scared. What will happen? What will happen to the Srishti? What will happen to the universe? Now who will do this one? And then our Bholenath came, our good God came, and then he said, let me take it. Sacrifice. That's why Vedas say, na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena tyagena ike amrutatva manashu. It says, not through your action alone. Na karmana, na prajaya. Prajaya is progeny. Not by having great children. Na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena. Not with the wealth. Tyagena ike amrutatva manashu. Sacrifice alone makes you glorious. Sacrifice alone takes you to become. That is the sacrifice he did. This man, the philosopher, whatever that people consider him, he proved everything. The ICS, he cracked it and he showed. He was a lecturer, hailed from a very, very illustrious family. He had everything. At one point of time decided, none of this matters. That's why I keep telling that those who have capacity to sacrifice, they have all had same situations like us. Right? If like Gandhi, if we were thrown out of the train, we would have got the next train. Am I right? So they all had pleasures. They had everything in their life. They had nothing less. But yet they decided that there is something else. There should be meaning to life. That's why they decided to do that sacrifice. God says, only with sacrifice you attain Amritatva. That means eternity. And that's exactly what happens here. And that's why God comes and back and forth he tells. So here Shiva drinks the hala hala. And his throat becomes blue. We call him Neelakanta. Right? Throat is blue. We call him Neelakanta. And my good God, his whole body is Neela. He is Neela Megashama. That means imagine how much of hala hala that we are giving in the form of bad things and he is taking. Karsha iti Krishna. He takes everything bad from you, only gives the good to you. That is the beauty of Krishna. He is called Neela Megashama. Why does he become blue? Why should he be that way? That is Karshayati Krishna. And that Lord, when we remember and we do Archana to Him, and that's our opportunity. We are not doing a favor to Him. It's an opportunity that we are getting to do an Archana to Him. Here we have another beautiful composition. It's called Upacharam. The raga is Bhairavi. It's a very, very powerful raga. It's a Ghana raga. And with Bhairavi, it's also again invocation, like that Lalita we heard, Hiranmayim, Lakshmi. Upacharamul is also like that, very beautiful. He tells about Archana, what all he does to God. He also knows that it's very, very minimal. But what you feel happy is about when you have your shrine and then whichever God you adore. It doesn't matter which religion you belong to, whatever it is. Whenever you dress up your God, you feel beautiful about it. And it is for your own happiness you dress him up. He doesn't ask. He is Nitya Sundara only. Nothing stops him. But you feel beautiful about it. And that is why we do Archana. When we do Archana, because in Archana what we use is the simplest one. The God says, probably the diamonds after diamonds or gold cannot do anything to you. But with that good feel, you do an Archana, throw a Tulasi to me. It will rise. And that's the beauty that he talks about. So, this Archana is something that is there as part of the Navavida Bhakti that we will see through the Raga or the song Upacharamulu. The composer is actually accusing the god. He says, Kapata Nataka Sutradhara. Generally, I told you, this is the type of feelings that composers go through. They are not listening to you. I've been calling you out. You don't seem to be worrying. So he is conveying so many things. At the same time, this is also one of the bhakti, actually speaking, scolding him and yet loving him. You know, I was talking about this. This is the beauty that comes out time and again. And Archana is such a this thing that we say we continue to do it, but it's very interesting that when after this we'll just move into Vandanam and little faster, we'll move into the other bhaktis also. It has always been a question that why Krishna was chosen to deliver the Gita Arjuna was chosen by Krishna to deliver the Gita, why not others? To be frank, the one who is deserving is Yudhishthira, who doesn't listen to God also to tell lie. Right? God asks him, Krishna asks him, tell a lie. Ashwatthama hataha. Yudhishthira says, no, you have only taught me not to tell lies, now you are telling me tell lies, I will not tell. He is so stubborn, he doesn't listen to the God also because that is his dharma. Am I right? So he is the most deserving one. He is Stita Prajna, he is calm, he is composed, valor, everything is there with him. Then you have Bhima, the Ati Parakrami. Right? Others, in fact, for that matter, Nakula and Sahadeva, all Jnanis. You know, they come from the Sanaka Sanandadis. They are very brilliant. They know everything. They know Ashvaradaya to everything. But yet God chooses Arjuna. It's a very interesting scenario. Because Arjuna is nothing but an expression of each one of us. Because Arjuna has all the Rishad Vairis, all the Kama, Krodha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, Lobha, Moda, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, everything. When Ekalavya is a better archer than you, he is jealous. Right? He has everything. And he marries multiple women. He goes to Rupi and Chitrangada and subsequently he deserts. Where was the necessity to? Yes, it is also part of the the way of making relationships and diplomacy. There is no doubt about it. Everything. He has anger also. You know, when Draupadi's scenario was there, Bhima and Arjuna were the ones who felt the extreme amount of anger, wanted to respond to or react to a situation. Yudhishthira holds back. No, they are not supposed to. Calm down. So he has Krodha also. You name a quality he has. Same like us. Whenever good things happen, continuously good things happen, we forget God also. Am I right? If all the good things are only happening, why do we need God? Arjuna is a classic example of that. He goes to his son. I was mentioning about Ulupi and Chitrangada. He goes to that Desha, and then Babruvahana talks to him and says, you have come without Krishna, you are nothing. Your whole power or whatever you won so far, it's all because that man was behind you. Because he was there, you won everything. Now he is not there, you are nothing. Arjuna says, I don't require to defeat someone like you, a silly fellow. I don't require Krishna to come here. I can manage. He has already got into his head that he can manage. We also feel that way only. If everything is going good, first when we are in crisis, everything we do, 10 times we pray, continuously we pray, without disturbance, we tell people dedicated time and everything. But as the success starts coming, the frequency of prayer also starts coming. We even postpone praying. Lot of things happen. Arjuna is also symbol of us. So we are all Arjunas. That's why God chose Arjuna. Because had he chosen Yudhishthira, we would have conveniently said, I am not as great as Yudhishthira, so I don't need to do this one. He chose Arjuna so that we can reflect ourselves and look at, on the one hand, he is Sabyasachi. Right? He is Arjuna, Partha, Kiriti, Shvetavahana, Gandivi. Right? All sorts of names, glorious names to him. He is capable. God is also indirectly telling all of you are capable, but only thing is you need to realize that you are a fire which is covered by the smoke, and my job is to blow that away. That's what he says. That's why he chose Arjuna. That's why he gave him the Gita. So this is the beauty, that when you surrender yourself, the God is there too. That's why when Arjuna was ready, Krishna sits. When Arjuna is not ready, Krishna stands. That means God is telling, when you realize that you are ready to do something, I will sit, we will do. There is also Kapittajam. There is Kapi above. Hanuman is sitting there. That's why we say Hanuman, Anjana, Sunu, Vayuputra, Mahabala, Rameshta, Palgunasaka, Pingakshu, Amita Vikramaha, Udadikramanaschaiva, Sita Ashoka Vinashanaha, Lakshmana Pranadata, Dashagrivasya Darpaha. I have told whole Ramayana for it. Because that man believed only in Archana. Right? So we move into the next component, that is Vandana. We are just looking at why do we do that one. All these people, all the great saints and everyone just believed in praying, prostrating to him. Right? Prostrating is also another way of surrendering yourself to God, because it also brings in discipline. When you surrender or when you do Vandanam, you are also touching. You need to be close to the earth, they say. Don't get detached. That's why our parents used to say, sit down and have food. They were saying that you will be closer to the Mother Earth. Don't be too away. Don't make it everything artificial. So, when you do Vandanam, you cannot say, I'll do it on a dining table or I'll do it on a stage. So, it says one of the ways of thanking the Mother Goddess. Right? She is Kshamaya Dharitri. Someone who unbound amount of patience. Nobody else has patience. When you test it only, it's a problem. Till then she will bear it. That's why she is Kshamaya Dharitri. So we prostrate to her, and that is Vandanam. And that Vandanam we are also doing to Raghava, that is our Rama, in the form of a composition called Vandanamu Raghunandana in the Raga Shakana.
Vandanamo Raghunandana, Vandanamo Raghunandana, Vandanamo Raghunandana, Sekhundana, Vandana, Vandanamo Raghunandana, Sekhundana. Sri Rama
What a beautiful composition. He's saying Vandanamu Raghunandana, then he says Setu Bandhana Bhakta Chandana, he says. That means when you decide that you want to do Vandana to him, even if there is some barrier, he will work as a bridge. That is what he is telling. Setu Bandhana doesn't mean only the bridge that they created there. He says, I myself will become a bridge to reach to wherever you want to. So this is a beautiful way of expressing something he says, and at the same time he is also asking him for certain things. In the Navavidha Bhaktis, whenever we are talking about each of these, the Vandana part comes as so strong, because until and unless you give up on your ego, you won't prostrate. So it is one of the ways actually of getting rid of that, because most of the time what happens? We are wearing certain type of clothes, they are expensive, they are beautiful, and then they are something that we are carrying with lot of pride and everything, because it has a value, it has been brought with a particular price. So what happens is the mind doesn't allow that if it's a place that it is dirty, I don't want to actually prostrate. The time that you overcome and you have the detachment to materialistic things, that means you have arrived there. That is the importance of Vandana, that nothing else matters. When you see something that is supposed to be, you prostrate, and that is when ego starts coming down. That's the beauty that here also Tyagaraja is talking about, and he is saying that he will work as a bridge. But God says, you take the first step, I will take 100 steps. First step is yours. I am there everywhere. You are all my creation. But that doesn't mean that I will do everything. You do something, I will do everything. First he says, you do something, I will do rest. That's why we say, be clear, rest will follow. And that clearance comes when the ego goes down. That is the meaning that comes in terms of that one. We move into the next one, which is the Dasya Bhakti. The Dasya Bhakti is essentially where the idea of servitude comes, and there is a servant sort of a relationship. It has nothing to do with feeling menial, it has nothing to do with you feeling low about it, but you are telling that now you are coming to that way, I stop doubting you. I stop thinking about, that's why people say whether it is mentor or master. At some point of time, be clear. Don't question back. Don't unnecessarily, because lot of such philosophers we have had, godmen, philosophers, everything this land has had. If you listen to, or if you have heard about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, most of the time he used to be eccentric. Whenever he was eccentric, people would be, is this the man that some of the greatest people are coming and worshipping? Is this the man exactly what we are looking for? Because that's all part and parcel of their life, because that's when certain things come up to them and then they behave. They themselves have no such control over, because they are where they expect. Because he is a dasa to Kali, you are becoming dasa of him. That is how the bridge is built, and then it carries on to you. And that servant feeling that you have towards the God will only take you further. And here where Tyagaraja again in Hamsa Nadandi talks about a beautiful composition called Bantu Ritu Kulavu, and we will go for the other bhaktis, and then we will have other understanding that we will talk about with Sakya is very important for us. Atma Nivedana is also extremely important for us. We will go for that one with a bit of other important stories or narrations that we have. Over to Sunil. In Dasya Bhakti, generally we remember Hanuman. If he is son of Vayu, should not that the speed should be this much? Right? Vayu should show all the color and grace and everything. Right? It's the speed in which he can come and sweep us and then take us away. The God says, in the Bhakti Marga, you don't need to wait too long. Tapasya, generally you must have seen in all the serials that are shown to you people, right, in the television. What happens is first he goes, he's very beautiful, looks very elegant and everything. Slowly, beard, everything grows, and after a point of view, you can't even make out. That means that's the time that he has taken. So God says in the Bhakti Marga, it's the swiftest way. Like the Vayu, like Hanuman says that I want to be. He says that one only. In this whole thing he says, allow me to be your guard. Nothing more than that. I want to be your guard. Stand there and say, put myself there. Don't do anything to me. I don't want anything else. I am not asking anything from you. Allow me to be your guard is what this particular composition was telling, but in that speed. It's a demand that Hanuman is putting across, and he is telling, I want to be that one. We move there from there to the Sakya. Sakya is a very beautiful story. As such, I tell you, even the villains that we know, we spoke about Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, all these people, right? All those villains that we see in the major issues that we have, all of them have a Sakya Bhava. I'll tell you, Sakya Bhakti is very beautiful. When this whole process happens, the rishis go and Jaya and Vijaya, who are in front of Vaikuntha, in front of Sriman Narayana's place, they tell that you will be punished. Then God says you have two options. I understand the pain that you people are going through, because they go and surrender to Him and say, we can't leave you. That's not a possibility. Give us an option. He says option A, option B. Option A, be good people and stay for a long time away from me. Then you will come back to me only. Option B, be bad people. I will come fast because I have promised people yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Right? Abhyudhanam adharmasya tadatmanam smrati. He says when the adharma comes in, then I will come and be there. So invariably when you go there as bad people and you become destructive, I am forced to come there. I will come. The moment I come, I will finish you. After that you can come back to me. Other side is a moral story that is there for all of us to know why one should not be bad and everything. At the same time, from Jaya and Vijaya's perspective, they have a Sakya Bhava. They want to come back to their Lord faster. That's the feeling that they have towards. They want to come back, be with Him. They can't be separated. They say, this separation is unbearable. We don't want to go through. So we want to come back. Abuse you, no problem. We'll come back. That's what even the composer is doing, no? He's calling him Kapata Nataka Sutradhari. And how is he different from Jaya and Vijaya? They are also doing the same thing as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, or whosoever we are talking about, all those people in the list. Everybody is that one only. And that Sakya Bhava is very important. But here, this Sakya Bhava is little different that we are trying to look at. That is also there. But here what we are trying to look at Sakya Bhava is something like in the Tamil tradition we have Andal, who almost felt that she and God have been married. And she feels she is nothing different from God. So her father would every day make the garlands, and first she would put on herself. And she would look at the mirror. She would feel good. Okay, if this is good to me, then it will look good on the God. This is my Lord also. She would do that one. And for quite some time, every day when he would go and take it to the God, there would be a hair. And he gets worried about, and he thinks that something is going wrong. And I am getting the flower that's being used by someone. When I was tying, everything was clear. How is it a possibility? And then subsequently, one day he figures out that it is his daughter who is doing this one, Godadevi who is doing this one, and he says, you should not be doing this. She also accepts, and then he takes it without that. You know what the Lord says? He doesn't accept. He comes in his dream and he says, the flower that you got for me is not that good. It's not fragrant because Andal has not worn it. She, with all the love that she had for me, she used to put on herself, make herself to look good because she thought I should look good, and then she gave it to me. It had a different fragrance, love and everything for me. This one is missing that one. So get it back to her. I would want to take it like that only. And that is the Sakya Bhava that we are trying to look at here. We are doing that one also. On the other hand, the other Sakya is also, we are trying to get it from one of the saints who came in the Marathi tradition in the form of an abhang. We will be singing two of those smaller pieces, and then we will move into the last bhakti, that is the most important one, Atmanivedana.
போகி உலகளந்த உத்தமன் பேர் பாடி போகி உலகளந்த உத்தமன் பேர் பாடி நாங்களும் பாடி சாடி போகி உலகளந்த உத்தமன் பேர் பாடி நாங்களும் பாடி சாட்சி
Starts saying that Pandharpur is my mother's home. That's what he starts with, and he says, located on the river Bhima, the banks of Bhima river. Then he says, Vittala is my father, Rukmai is my mother. Then he says, Pundalika is my brother. What more I can tell you about his greatness? This is called as the tradition that we have. Not just me as a composer, I am great, but I remember all those people who are responsible for the civilization to continue. Ours is a culture which is a civilizational culture. There are only two civilizations that are left out in the world. One is ours, other one is China. This is the beauty. The civilization continues when you recognize someone else's work. So all the great people have done that one only. They have recognized someone else's work, someone else comes and reciprocates. That is the goodness. Goodness only leads to goodness. That's the positivity that he's talking about. Then he goes on and says, my sister is Chandrabhaga. She washes away my sins and purifies. And then he says, Eknath surrenders to the Lord Vittala and fondly remembers my mother's home, Pandharpura. He starts with mother, ends also with the mother. With that, we move to our last one, Atmanivedanam. I keep telling, or I've been telling that this is the most important one, because whenever we say Atmanivedanam, we remember Hanuman. Hanuman is considered to be the greatest devotee who never ever felt that there is an identity in him. He is the Advaita. He never felt, in fact, the whole of Valmiki Ramayana, on several occasions he is asked, what is your name? Who are you? Our man never says that he is Hanuman. He is all powerful. He can deliver anything that he wants to. Yet he never says it. He says, Dasoham Kausalendrasya. He says, I'm just the Dasa of Kausalendra. He has no identity at all. What more? I'm telling you, I do a small this thing in the vote of thanks. If Dr. Shruti doesn't mention my name or something, I feel irritated about it. I say, I did everything and she's not living, she's not telling anything about. And here is a man who saves Rama's brother, who goes to Sita, gets his most beloved for whom he went all the way from Ayodhya to wherever that we talk about Sri Lanka. He does everything that his God asks for. He says, go jump, he jumps. He says, go do that, he does this one. Everything he does doesn't ask for anything. What greater quality of a devotee than this one? Right? That's why he says, why he believes this one? Because we have always said that Rama never tells truth and Rama never followed dharma. will be shocked, because whatever Rama did is dharma, whatever Rama spoke is truth. Because Valmiki says, Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. There ends the story. Valmiki says, Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. He is Dharma. And that's exactly what Hanuman believes, and he surrenders himself. That's all. There is no other devotee that you will find in the world who is as this thing is. So, devotee, Hanuman, devotee. You don't need anybody else. He is also personification of that belief that we have in this one. That's why Purandara Dasa in one of his compositions speaks about, and so beautifully he says, Nana deshagallalli, Nana kalagallalli, Nana yonigalalli, Nalidu hutti. He says in so many yonis that I have taken, but so many janmas that we have taken. Nalidu, he says, goes on telling that one. Then he says, whatever I do, whatever drama, gimmick, circus that I do, once you decide, I am finished. He says, at the end, Srinatha Purandara Vittalana Nama. He says, before that one, he simply puts across and he says, that once you decide, my story ends. And he puts across and he says, Hanuman also says the same thing. The day Lord's grace goes off me, I am nothing. There is no value. So for Atmanivedanam, the bhakti, that Atmanivedanam that we have, Hanuman is a personification. We are essentially finishing this whole concert with Swami Mukhya Prana. We say Mukhya Prana because his legacy is like that. From Vayu comes him, and then in the Trai Siddhanta that we have in the Advaita, Vishishta Advaita and Dvaita, last one is Dvaita, and Madhva is considered to be Hanuman only. So they go like that, and then they have this whole tradition that it comes in. That's why he is called as Mukhya Prana, because the moment that Vayu goes, you are done. There is nothing for you to left out. That means Hanuman is like that. He is everything, yet he feels he is nothing. And that level, once we attain, perhaps that is the end of it. That's when Atmanivedanam comes in. So we sing Swami Mukhya Prana and in the praise of Lord Hanuman, and we conclude this concert. Thank you.
Swami Mukhya Prana Nina Varadare Gantalagana. Swami Mukhya Prana Nina Varadare Gantalagana. Sagala Vidya Pranina Nihida Yora Malakarana. Sagala Vidya Pranina Nihida Yora Malakarana. Sagala Vidya Pravina Sanjeevana Parvata Bhumi Ranjana Tanyoha. Sanjeevana Parvata Bhumi Ranjana Tanyoha. Anjana Sundari Kumadu Peri Kone Mona. Anjana Sundari Kumadu Peri Kone Mona. Swami Mukhya Prana Nina Varadare Gantalagana. Vaikunthapuraದಿಂದ ಬಂದು ಈ ಪಂಬಾ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಿಂದ ವೈಕುಂಠಪುರದಿಂದ ಬಂದು ಈ ಪಂಬಾ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಿಂದ ಎನ್ನೋದಾರ ಜನರು ಎನ್ನೋದಾರ ಜನರು श्रीनिवासाय मङ्गलं मङ्गलं
You just said that you gave us a chance to sing your glory, and that's what we are finishing with. We're saying Mangalam to him and thanking him that you keep giving us chance to sing his glory, or sing the glory of the God in whatever way possible, and in whichever path that we are taking in the Navavida Bhakti, we'll continue to take that one, because we say Karacharana Kritam va, Kayajam Karmajam va, Shravana Nayanajam va, Manasam va Paradam, Vihitam Avihitam va, Sarvame Takshamakshva, Jaya Jaya Karunanide, Mahadeva Shankho. That's what we say. Whatever that we have done with our Kara and Charana, both hands and legs, right? Kara Charana Kritam va, Kayajam Karmajam va, whether through the body, through our karmas. Shravana Nayana Jamma, ears and eyes, all that I leave it to you. To take or not to take. We are also using like the composers. To take, not to take is your choice. We will continue to do whatever that is possible. Thank you so much for your patience listening here. Thanks to my wonderful team led by Vidwan Sunil Gargyan on vocal, Vidwan Madan on violin, Vidwan Sai on rhythm.